Hello children, my name is Mrs. Smith and welcome back to session 4 of our RE community lessons together. We've been using our religious education knowledge and skills to really help us unpick some aspects of community already, and it's been lovely to be on this journey with you. Today we're going to be focusing in on the Christian community, what it is they follow, and then how that plays out in their own communities. Lots of things that we can unpick and understand together. So no further ado, we're going to get started. Let me just quickly show you what you will need for today's lesson so that you can go and get those things. So this is exactly what we're doing today. How do Christians live as part of a Christian community? And we will need today 3 pieces of paper, lined or plain. It would be really good if one of them could be plain if you have got access to plain paper. At least 1 pencil or pen, colours if you would like, and a pair of scissors today, and you may need some adults to help you later. Go ahead, go and get those things and I'll meet you back here. Fantastic, great that you've got those things. Now, we were thinking about symbols yesterday. Symbols of community. I'm just going to stop the share there. Oh, here we go. Symbols of different communities, and we got to play a little quick game of odd one out, and I thought we'd play that again today because it's really important that we understand that these symbols are special and unique for, you know, various reasons. Asking why and answering the question why in RE is such an important skill. Being able to explain our opinions and being able to explain what we think is really, really important. So let's see how we can get on today. Here are the 3 items I would like you to have a look at today. Look closely, think carefully about them, because in a minute I am going to be asking you to draw them and then to work out which one you feel is the odd one out, giving a reason why. So the first one I'm going to show you today is another object that Sikhs would have. This is called a kara. It is an object that shows that establishes that Sikhs belong to their Sikh religion. It's something that they would all wear. We've got a nice fish symbol here. You might see these on cars sometimes or in windows. Often Christians may choose to have this symbol to remind them of their Christian faith, and they would have like metal Christian fish symbols on display. So watch out for those, but that's the fish symbol. And then my last one is this one, which is important for all of us, I believe. We all live currently in this nation, the United Kingdom. Although if you're watching from another country, then apologies. But this flag is called our Union Jack. Our Union Jack flag represents the United Kingdom. So have a look at all 3 symbols and start to think what's different, what's similar, where might I see them? Start thinking about that. And as you do that, grab one of your pieces of paper, and as we did last session, I'd like you to divide it into 3, and then really quickly, doesn't have to take long at all, they do not need to be colourful or detailed like the actual pictures. I would love you to draw those 3 objects in those 3 separate sections. Pause the video here to do that. Fantastic. Right, now that you've drawn them, let's start having a think about which one you think is the odd one out and why. Just going to share the screen to remind you of our little question prompts. Here we go. So we've got that Christian fish symbol, we've got the Sikh kara, and we've got the Union Jack. Consider what you think about those and then see if you can answer this question or complete the sentence underneath. I think that, and in that blank, choose which one you think is the odd one out and then explain why. So the odd one out, it is the odd one out because, and then finish off the sentence. Pause the video here to write your sentence. Fantastic. Now, thank you for your answers. I wonder again whether you've chosen the same odd one out as someone else maybe watching this video. I would go for the Union Jack, in my opinion, similar to what we were thinking about yesterday. That is demonstrating a large community, but it's to do with the place that you live. Whereas you can be a Sikh or a Christian wherever you are in the world. And it's similar to what we were debating in the last session about whether the school jumper should be the odd one out. I'm sure your answer is completely brilliant, and I know that you would have thought really carefully about it. The most important skill, as I said though, is about that reason. Can you explain why? Right, well done. We are going to move on now, and we're going to start thinking about the Christian community. Now, as you can see here, we've got a fish symbol that demonstrates that Christians believe that if they have that symbol, that's showing that they are part of the community. Let's have a think about what it actually means for the Christian faith. I'm just going to stop the share so you can see me. Now, Christians believe in the Trinity. That means they believe in God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. They believe that there is one God, but he demonstrates himself in three persons. And many Christians believe in the Bible, that's that sacred text, and they will meet with other Christians to go to church and maybe explore the Bible together and to hear stories from the Bible and to hear messages from the Bible that people would talk about. Now, going to church or linking up with other people for Christians is so important. Not only is it a chance for them to share what they think and feel, but it's a chance for them to share and unite together in the same understanding that they take from the Bible. Now, in the Bible, it talks about the church being like one body. I'm just going to share with you now a phrase or a passage that comes from the Bible. And for Christians, this is quite unique for them. And it's mentioning that word unity, which we spoke about in the last session. It says this in the Bible in 1 Corinthians, just as a body, though one, has many parts, but all its many parts form one body. So it is with Christ. That means with Jesus. Even so, the body is not made of one part, but of many. Now, if the foot should say, because I'm not a hand, I do not belong to the body, it would not for that reason stop being part of the body. And if the ear should say, because I'm not an eye, I do not belong to the body, it would not for that reason stop being part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the sense of hearing be? If the whole body were an ear, where would the sense of smell be? But in fact, God has placed the parts in the body, every one of them, just as he wanted them to be. If they were all one part, where would the body be? As it is, there are many parts, but one body. So here, although it's a bit strange calling the church or a group of people one body, actually they're saying that each of them have got their own different parts. Each of them have got their own ways of thinking. Each of them are unique, but they come together because they are that one body. It demonstrates that unity that we've spoken about. I wonder, take some time to think about this. What do you think this says about what many Christians believe about being part of a community? I would like it if you could jot down your thoughts on a piece of paper and just 1 or 2 sentences about what you think about Christians from this passage believe about community. Fantastic. Thank you for recording your thoughts. I think unity is such an important message that Christians believe and follow. Knowing that they are all following the same messages in the Bible and being united in the same community must really, really help. Now, we're going to have a little bit of thinking time. I want you to have a think about the decisions you make in your day-to-day life. So a bit of decision thinking here. What is it that makes you decide the right thing to do? That's quite a tricky thing, isn't it? So how do you decide what the right thing to do is. I'm going to share with you some scenarios, and I want you to think about what you would do, and then what helped you to decide what to do. Okay, so I'm just going to share that next screen with you. So thinking carefully about these 3 scenarios. So what would you do? So what did you do with your rubbish after you last ate a snack? Did you drop it on the floor, or did you recycle it? When you get given some spending money, what do you do with it? Do you spend it all, save some, or save some and maybe give something to a good cause or a charity? Another one, maybe this is something really important at school and something that we've already thought about. Who do you choose to play with? Only sticking to your best friends, or maybe someone who looks lonely? Spend some time now, pause the video, and I want you to think carefully, and then just jot down a sentence for each one if you want to, or just choose one and focus on that. But think carefully, what would you do? What would the choice be for you? Fantastic. Do you know what? The last time I had some rubbish from my snack, I put it straight in the recycling bin because it was made of cardboard, and I felt that's something I needed to do. Do you know what, as well, when I play with my friends, I definitely do like to try and stick with my closest friends, but always like to keep an eye out, be observant. Let's think, who else out there might be a bit lonely and might want to play? But my big question is, I wonder what helped you make those decisions. Maybe you are influenced by, say, following the law, or by following the school rules. You might have a rule in your home that talks about, you know, being kind to one another, not irritating your brothers or sisters or something like that. Do you know what? Your own beliefs and your own values are often contributed to from some of the rules and the laws that we have to follow or that we do follow. Christians people believe that how they decide to live is really important, and this helps them live in community. There are lots of ways that Christians believe that they are guided. For example, choosing to look at Jesus. Jesus was the Son of God, and Christians follow what he did and read about him in the Bible and things like that, and that often determines how they then choose to live. What the Bible says in the 10 Commandments, you might have heard about that. Moses with great stone tablets, 10 rules, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not murder, and things like that were written on there. They talk about these commandments, which are rules really for Christian living. And I'm just going to share with you the next slide, because this is what is referred to as the greatest commandment. So the most important one that Christians follow. And you can find it in the book in the Bible in the New Testament, so in the later part of the Bible, and it's in a book of the Bible called Matthew. And it says this: Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself." Now, think carefully about that and what that actually means for Christians. They love the Lord their God. They give all their heart and soul and mind to it. But the second one is so important. We've got to therefore love our neighbours as ourselves. Think carefully about what that might mean about Christians living in community. It's not just about loving themselves, it's about choosing to love others. Now, here are 2 Christians, brother and sister. We've got Martin and Cheryl here. Now, I'm going to just explain what they do. So Martin and Cheryl and their family are Christians, and they use lots of things to help them know how to live, including the Bible. So here we've got here, hi, I'm Martin and I'm a Christian. I love meeting with my friends at church and spending time helping my dad grow vegetables in our garden. One of the best times of year is when we go to West Point, a Christian festival. We go to a church service in a massive tent. That sounds really exciting. We've got Cheryl here. I'm Cheryl, I'm 10 and I'm Christian too. I love walking our dog Ollie and going camping. The church we go to have lots of different groups and we belong to Lighthouse. We meet each month to pray and sing to God together, and it's sort of like church outdoors. Wow, that sounds like a really, really positive, lovely place to be. And they sound really involved in their Christian community. Now, one part of the Bible that Cheryl and Martin find really helpful to help them live their lives in community is called the Beatitudes. These are some words that Jesus said in the New Testament. Here's a simplified version of them. So it's from that book, Matthew again, in the latter part of the Bible. Here are some of the things that Jesus tells them that it's really good to do in your life. And it really helps them make decisions, especially when living in a community with others. So we've got loving God, love other people, be gentle and kind, be fair, and work to make sure others are treated justly. Forgive when people hurt and upset us. Be good peacemakers, helping people and nations make friends, and stand up for what is right. They all sound really, really good, positive values to have and rules to follow in life. So here's what I'd like you to do. I would really like you to pause the video in a second. You're going to choose one of these Beatitudes and write a sentence on your piece of paper, either underneath where you've just been jotting your thoughts or on another piece, and write about what this guidance means. And maybe, if you can, give an example of how Martin and Cheryl might carry out that action in their daily lives. And if you're up for a challenge, then choose at least 2. See what you can come up with. Pause the video here. Great choices and explanations, everyone. That's excellent. Now, I just wanted to share with you some things that I think that they could do. And in fact, I've got the diary of Martin and Cheryl in front of me here. Here's some things that they do. It says here, in our family, we do lots of things to reduce our waste. We recycle and cut down the amount of energy we use. We do this because we need to look after the world that God gave us. We do it so that climate change won't spoil the world for other people or us. Now, I think that's really quite impressive, isn't it? And if we look down the list, that's loving other people because they're wanting to make the world a better place for everyone. But it's standing up for what is right and making the world a cleaner, better place to live. Here's another little action that they do as part of living in community with others. Dean is our friend, but he's going through a difficult time at the moment. He is damp in his flat and it has spoiled his mattress. It was making him poorly and he couldn't sleep, so we helped him find a new mattress because it wasn't fair that Dean didn't have a good one. Dean often comes round for dinner to be with friends so that he's not lonely. That's loving other people, being gentle and kind, being fair, being just, isn't it? Buying that mattress or helping him get a new mattress so that he can actually sleep properly. It's recognising that other people need that support. I want you to think now, how do these actions display the Christian Beatitudes? But not only that, are these actions, so inviting people round for dinner, recycling and things like that, are these actions the things that only Christian communities do? I don't think it is. I think lots of other groups and people do. Are there some of these things that people do from other religions? Or are there people who might not be religious, but they would do it still? They would do those actions. If so, are they done for the same reason? And reason's that really important word. Do you think these kind of actions that come out of following the Beatitudes are easy or hard to carry out? Just take some time to think about those now. Fantastic. Now we're going to summarize our learning in a slightly different way today. And we're going to actually make a people chain. Now that's really kind of, oh, what am I doing? I'm just going to stop sharing the screen. But don't panic. I'm going to talk you through how we're going to do it. We're going to create a paper chain which has people joined together. And then for the next few sessions, we're going to write on them the summaries of some of the things that we've learned, so that it looks like a united chain of people showing community. Now, I've learned some things just then from the Beatitudes that we've just shared with Martin and Cheryl. And I wonder whether you can think of some of the things that they have learned as well. So let's have a go at taking your plain piece of paper, if you've got that one, but don't worry if it's lined. And what I want you to do is I want you to fold that piece of paper in half and then fold it again. Really simple. So put it landscape, fold it in half. You might want to get an adult to help you. There we go. And then fold that in half again. So we've ended up with quarters. Now, if you know your fractions, you should know that. Okay, so we've got quarters of a landscape page. Then what I'd like you to do is draw another person. Now, this person looks a little bit better than the one I did on the first session. What's really important is when you draw your head and your body, the arms must go to the edge of where the paper finishes. Okay, that's really important. And when it comes to cutting it out, because we are going to cut them out now, do not cut here. So I'm going to put an X here to show where you are not cutting. They need to stay, okay? So do not cut there. Now, this is where you might need an adult to help you. So I'm going to get on now and I'm going to cut this out. You might want to pause the video just so that you can get yourself set up to do your person cutting. I'm happy for you to do that, but I'm just going to finish off cutting round, just making sure that we're getting all of the bits, and make sure that I'm not cutting those two bits that I've shown you to do. And you can make your person wear a skirt if you want to. They don't have to wear trousers. I just like the funky, almost look like disco flares. Right, once you've done that, what you'll find when you open it up is a lovely chain of people. You can see where I didn't have to cut out, because that means they're joined together. So once you've made your paper chain, I would like you to choose one of the people. So I'm going to choose this one right on the end. And I would like you to have a think, what is it that we've learned in our session today about the Beatitudes? And I think the biggest phrase for me that sticks out is loving our neighbour as ourselves. So love my neighbour as myself. So love my neighbour. That is a super important thing that we've heard from the Christian view of living in community. And I'm going to circle the word love. And if you want to use all your different colours, you can even do lovely smiley faces on that. Okay, you only need to do one, because what we'll do over the next few sessions is add more to our different chain of people. So pause the video here if you haven't already written that to do that. If not, carry on. Have a look at your words that you've written about how we can build community. And I want you to think about how that value or that feeling of love really helps people in community. In our next session, we are going to be thinking about how Sikhs show commitment to their community. We're going to be thinking about equality and making sure that people are fed. So definitely tune in to the next couple of sessions. Thank you for spending time with me today. I hope you've had a great time, and I will see you in the next session. Bye.